Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you are going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, my brother, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I am a young woman who is full of regrets because of the things that I did, and partly I blame my own friend because she made me to do all of this stuff. Well, my brother, when I came here to South Africa, I started staying with my friend, and this friend of mine, what she was doing, I didn't like it. She was dating a lot of men, and it really pains me a lot because a lot of marriages, they were destroyed. This friend of mine, she was a friend with this other white garment prophetess. They used to do a lot of holy prayers so that my friend can steal other people's husbands, and these prayers, they were working. They would perform these holy prayers of theirs so that she can be given a lot of money. If you were going to date my friend, then you were done. The day that I started staying with her, when I noticed her behavior, I even questioned myself before I had known that my friend, she was using that prophetess and using the holy water that she was being given to make all of these men to become like fools, the men that she was dating, because all of these men, they knew that she was dating several guys at the same time. They never fought with her, my brother. My friend, even though she was working, but the money that she was making on a weekly basis, it was more than the money that she was making at the end of the month. She used to work just that, so that she used to work so that she can just have a job, but she was making more money because of her several partners that she had, and none of her partners had a problem with her dating other men. They just loved her because of the love charms in form of holy water that she was using on them. Well, I never liked it, my brother, but when you stay with someone like that, in the end you end up joining her. For me to get a job, it was proving to be very difficult, and I wanted someone to assist me so that I can send some money back home. Well, my friend said that since you do not want to date several men at the same time, what I'm going to do is that I have this ex-boyfriend of mine. He was more like a blesser, an old man, really old, my brother. My friend then said that this old man that I used to date, I want you to date this guy because I do not love him anymore. So the idea that my friend had was that if he was going to date me, then the man was going to stop forcing her to keep on dating him, because my friend was complaining and she was saying that this man, he only gives me money when I sleep with him. If I tell him that I want my hair to be done, I want you to buy food for me, there is no more food in the house, the man will come first and he will say, sleep with me. It didn't matter if they slept together in the car, but it was more like they were exchanging. She was giving this man sex and the guy was giving her money in return. So my friend didn't want this. She didn't want to look like a prostitute. She wanted to date men that can give her money. So I then started dating that old man. My brother, when I slept with this old man, he was fast asleep one night and he was actually lying on his stomach. I woke up and I don't know what made me to look at his back. When I looked at his back, my brother, I then saw ticks that were full of blood. You know, those ticks that usually stick on cows. That is what I saw on his back. So when I kept on looking at all of those ticks that were all over his back, I then wondered and asked myself, how was it even possible that a human being can survive with a lot of ticks like that on his back? So I thought that maybe this was not reality, I was just hallucinating. I then selected one and I started pressing it. As I was pressing it, my brother, I then saw that this thing, it was actually full of blood. I was busy pressing it. As I was pressing it, this man, he then woke up and he started insulting me and he said that I didn't have any manners. why was I doing this thing to him when he was fast asleep? So I got scared. I then started speaking with my friend about this issue. She then started defending that old man, and she was like, no, don't worry, it is not a big deal. I then said, no, I do not want to do this. I then found this man. He was quite a handsome man. He was from Malawi, but he had grown up in Zim. He was such a handsome guy, so much that I was proud of him. And my brother, me and him, we then started dating. I loved him so much, but unfortunately the guy then made another lady to fall pregnant for him. And when he found out that the lady had fallen pregnant for him, he started avoiding me, and this caused me a lot of pain. This guy used to go around installing DSTV and stuff like that, and I loved him from the bottom of my heart. Even now, I still love him. When I found out that this is what had happened, one day, me and my friend, we then went and we spoke with that lady whom we had heard that she was the one who had stolen my boyfriend, and she was actually pregnant for my boyfriend. So as ladies, you know that once you have confronted each other, you are going to fight. And the way that we fight, we do not throw punches, we will be grabbing each other. So as me and that lady were busy fighting each other, she then fell to the ground. This was after I had hit her in the stomach with my knee. At that time, I had even forgotten that this person that I was fighting with, she was pregnant. I hit her so hard with my knee, and she started complaining. She fell to the ground, and then she was bleeding. She said, I am bleeding, I am bleeding. What have you done to me? What have you done to my child? But my friend then said to me, don't feel sorry for her. Never feel any pity for her. I want you to kick her hard in the stomach, so that she can know that you mean business. She must know that in the future you do not have to steal another woman's man. Kick her in the stomach. I kicked her, my brother. Unfortunately, more blood came out, and she kept on saying that, look what you have done, look what you have done. My friend then said, don't feel sorry. We then walked away and we returned back home. After that, my boyfriend, the one that I was trying to fight for, he then told me that he could never love me again because of the evil thing that I had done. Well, my man then returned back to me after this fight, and whenever I would be at his place for a sleepover, I would actually hear the voice and the crying of a newborn baby. This thing, it will happen throughout the night when I will be with my boyfriend. This newborn baby will be crying non-stop. And I said, I cannot reveal this scary thing to my boyfriend, because if he knows this, then he is going to dump me. And the way that I love him, let me try to be brave. This newborn baby would cry, my brother. The newborn will cry so much that my ears will start hurting, but I would pretend as if I was not hearing anything. I kept on dating my boyfriend even though I was being given these warnings. So at that time, there was this other lady that I used to work for. This lady, her own daughter, had recently given birth. I then went, as usual, to do my housemaid duties. So on that day, I was home alone. They had actually gone out. As I was busy doing my housemaid duties, I then heard that in my lady boss's bedroom, there was a cry of a newborn baby. So I thought that maybe it was her daughter who had actually came, but I wondered as to how she had entered into the house without me hearing her and without her actually speaking with me. So I just thought that maybe it was just weird. I continued doing my job, but that baby kept on crying. I then got angry at her and I said, she is quite irresponsible. How can she leave the baby to cry like this? I walked fast as I headed for my lady boss's bedroom, from where the sound of the crying baby was coming from. I opened the door, and when I opened the door, I then found out that there was a little baby that was bundled up and placed on the bed and placed on top of my lady boss's bed. So I even got angry and I said, this baby is too small for her to leave her like this on top of the bed. But what surprised me, my brother, as I was still standing at the bedroom door, I then saw that this baby was quite small and abnormally small. It was more like a premature. And I was like, if this baby is a premature, then why did she leave the hospital with a baby that is as small as this? You know, like a 2-liter bottle. That is how small this thing that was bundled up and placed on top of the bed was like. I then walked slowly towards my lady's boss bed, and I then opened up because I wanted to see this crying baby. My brother, I then got the shock of my life. Indeed, I saw a baby. But you know, just like when you are still carrying a child in your womb, when the child is still developing, not yet fully formed, that is the child that I saw, that is the baby that I saw bundled up. I could actually see its internal organs because the skin was transparent. This baby kept on screaming and crying. And when this baby kept on screaming and crying, actually, it felt as if this baby, the voice had been connected to speaker to a very big sound system, because it was actually making my ears to hurt. As this baby kept on screaming and crying, even my ears were now hurting because of the loud noise. I stumbled out of the bedroom, but at that time I had lost any sense of direction. I stumbled through the house and I got out of the house, my brother. The moment that I got out of the house, I heard that taxis were busy driving around, the birds were calling out. When I stumbled out of the house, I found out that everything had returned back to normal. The birds were singing in the trees. The taxis were busy running around, making a lot of noise. The cars were driving around. People were talking. And everything had returned back to normal. And this thing that happened, it was like a clear warning to me that you should stop dating my father. And I did, my brother. As painful as it is, for my own safety and sanity, I chose to abandon that relationship, even though I loved him a lot. Yeah, dear listeners, right there was a very difficult translation that we had to do, but right there was the narration of that message that I received. Yeah,